Introducing spreads. A spread is a way of laying out the cards for a tarot reading. Every experienced reader will know many different spreads and will pick the right one, depending on what the clairant wants to learn from the arcana. The basic principles underlying reading the tarot are simple. Each arcanum card has its own meaning. The cards are shuffled and then placed in a particular pattern, in what is known as a spread. Each position in the spread represents a single aspect of the answer to a question asked of the cards. A tarot reading involves combining the meaning of the question. The clairant should ask a specific question. The position, with that of the card placed in it. For example, if the position means that which could help me and the card placed in it is the star, indicating hope and optimism, then the reading suggests that the clairant should have faith in him or herself. Preparing to read. Follow these simple steps before you begin a reading. How to sit. The reader and the clairant should sit opposite one another. In illustrations accompanying texts on the study of tarot, the reader is always shown sitting on one side of the table and the clairant opposite them, as shown here. How to mix the cards. After checking all the cards in the pack are the right way up, the reader and clairant take turns to shuffle the deck. The clairant cuts the deck using the hand that they don't write with, and the reader turns the card over. The question. The clairant should ask a specific question. How to place the cards. Each spread consists of a particular layout in which the cards are to be placed. The reader places the cards in the order indicated by the spread's method. How to turn over the cards. The reader turns the cards over one by one, handling them by the sides and not the top or bottom, and interprets each card before turning over the next one. Over the course of your journey, you will learn how to use many different types of spread, from the simplest to some that are highly complex or require advanced technical knowledge. Every article about a new spread will include information covering number of cards, how many cards are used in the spread, cards used, whether to use the complete pack, just the major arcana, or any other combination. Objective. This tells you the type of answers that the spread can give. A reader who knows many spreads will be able to choose the one which would be most suited to the clairant's question. Layout. This shows how the cards should be placed and if it has any symbolic meaning. Card positions. There are countless possible tarot spreads. We will show you how to lay out the cards and how to interpret them. The position of the cards. Each time we will illustrate a sample spread, clearly showing the sequence and position in which the cards should be placed. Each position corresponds to a single card. The most important aspect of each spread is the description of the meanings that correspond to the position of the card. Each one will represent a specific aspect of the answer. Tarot reading works by uniting the significance of a position with that of the card that occupies it. Once the reader has interpreted the meanings of the cards in every position, this can be transformed into one message in a summing up, known as the synthesis. Each spread has been constructed in such a way that the reader can easily formulate the synthesis that will best answer the clairant's question. Why are there so many tarot spreads? The questions we can ask the tarot are infinite, and an expert reader must be able to adapt their techniques to respond to all of them. Each spread allows a reading to take a different direction. Some spreads are more effective in leading to the synthesis, others for the meticulous detail they give, and others still because they use particular techniques. We can compare a reading with cooking. The ingredients are always the same, the cards, but each spread is like a different recipe. Example readings used. To understand how a spread works, we will provide an example of a reading. Even though it is likely the reader will have different cards from those shown in the example, it will still illustrate how an expert reader might interpret the cards, providing a model from which you can learn. A beginner is encouraged to try reading the cards immediately and keep practicing regularly. To start with, Readings are likely to be literal and based largely on each card's essential meanings and keywords. With the experience you gain, you'll find it easier to intuit complex meanings and harmonize the positions into an accurate synthesis. Learning, variants, and exercises. You will learn about different spreads, which will demonstrate new concepts and techniques. The description of each spread will include a discussion of any new aspects, and some may feature variations so the reader can adapt it to their own knowledge, techniques, or to particular questions. Some articles will also include exercises you can try. For tarot experts, shuffling the cards by flipping them over. Some experienced tarot practitioners shuffle the cards using a technique that involves flipping the cards. Later, we will explain in detail how to do this in your own readings. Put simply, the reader cuts the deck several times, turning certain cards upside down on each occasion, but mixing as usual every other time. This means that when the cards are placed on the table, some will be reversed. If a card appears reversed when you are not using this technique to shuffle the cards, just turn it round and interpret it in the usual way. Until next time, farewell.